Nick Boundy, ladies and gentlemen. Here you go. Hello.
Welcome to the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
Today we have a very special guest. He is actually my cousin. That's how we first got to know each other.
And your stunt double.
He's my stunt double for when they need me to look another foot taller. He is a music producer. He's been playing instruments ever since he could walk, I think. He went on to become M4sonic, which is a global sensation. He has amassed over 100 million views on his YouTube channel. That's a pretty big deal. He's been kind enough to help us record this podcast. So we kind of felt a bit of pressure to have him on as a guest. I'd like to introduce Nick Boundy.
Thank you. Oh, what a stellar intro.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what you've done. So
Where have you been my whole life? Do you know how awkward it is when I have
We're
to...
your hype peep.
Yeah.
Peeps.
Woohoo! Energy crew.
You know those like initial first dinners you have with a new partner in your life, and you have to sit at the dining room table and
Yeah.
oh, what do you do for a job?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate
where do I
that
start?
question.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Well, it's like as an actor, like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm an actor. Oh, what have you been in?
Oh yeah.
Far out.
Oh yeah.
Well-
Can I check out your Spotify? Please don't. Not suited to under or over 40.
What is this racket?
Oh yeah. Yeah, my grandfather actually said that my songs sounded like burps and farts.
Oh.
He wasn't
Tim's
wrong.
grandfather?
No,
Your other
this is
grandfather.
dad's
The other
side.
one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all right.
The imposter. Do you know when your
like your
cousins
hearing aid's
have
not right.
a different grandparent to you?
And you're like,
It's like, who is this imposter?
yeah.
I was offended that you had other cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that feeling. I met my cousins' cousins, and I was like,
That's weird.
hate them. I don't like these
That's just
other
weird.
cousins.
They don't look like you.
It's weird.
I know.
But they're,
I know.
But they're related to your cousin just the same.
It'd be a
I was
weird
bit
catch up.
I'm a
Like,
bit jealous.
hey.
Get a bit jealous.
Actually, I caught up with Hamish and my cousin Mark in
Do
London.
you think they maybe hated each other? They were like, who are you?
I don't know. Let's find out. We might have Hamish on in the coming weeks. Did you know the rest of my family is Schitt's Creek? I'm just like the weird
Tim's not in it.
person that's been lobbed into like some bizarre world.
They're legit.
Josh is.
director.
I'm
director?
the director. But
Isn't
when
that
I'm like,
David?
Josh is David.
no, hang on.
Lily's Alexis.
You're
Stevie.
You're the you're the sibling that works in the cafe. Because
Oh,
you know how
Oh,
they're
yeah.
actually
Oh,
You're
siblings
the
in real life?
yeah.
You're the waitress.
You're the
That's
I'm the
secretly
waitress.
rich.
You're the waitress.
So I hope that's the
What's
way.
her name?
Her real name is
Twyla.
Twyla.
You're Twyla.
I'm Twyla.
You're Twyla, honey. A sweetheart.
We're just gonna. We'll have to cut to a photo of my family. Here's Dad as John.
Can you please
Here's
show
Mum
a
as
photo
Moira.
of Dad too?
Just like a little
circa
interaction.
2000 with a moustache and then
Yeah,
reference.
Ned Flanders.
Thank you.
I have a photo, I don't remember photo, of Guy and probably a little bit older than Tim, maybe. And it's just Tim with a mustache. 100%.
It's freaky.
It's creepy.
It's
Can we
freaky.
get guys here to grow the mo back?
I don't know if Pam will let it happen.
Oh, okay.
It's unlikely.
Funny as story about Mum and Dad. So Dad grew a beard once, and Mum accepted it, tolerated it, and then came up in conversation. And Mum is just so brutally honest. She's like, "I hated you when you had a beard. Disgusting.
You.
I hated
you.
that beard."
Didn't hate the beard, hated you.
And then we were talking more about it, and I'm like, "Dad, I reckon you should grow a beard." Mum's like, "Yeah, you could grow a beard." It's like, "No, Mum, you just told us 100% you hated that beard." I thought it actually quite sentiment. It was softer, more approachable.
More approachable.
Anyway,
Just not to. your mum.
Not to your mum.
apparently looked like a garden gnome.
It's just Tim.
It is.
Right now.
Yes.
With the beard,
I
mustache.
reckon that hairstyle will come back.
I mean, he's got that hairstyle right now. Basically, he needs a haircut. He's growing it out for
Oh
some
my God.
short film.
How cool is the like dust effect on that photo?
I don't think
Yeah,
that's
so
a dust
that-
effect. It's the
that's-
dust on the frame.
No, I know, but like that
Right?
you can't make that. Let's just punch in on that. There you
Yeah,
go,
is
everyone
that
listening to
in
the podcast.
4K?
Doesn't that look cool, that dust effect? It's real dust.
That's
Genuine. That is
organic. We came full
Cut.
circle.
I'm out.
that's a callback.
All right, the coffee has kicked in.
Yeah,
I think it has. All of a sudden, we're all very happy. You have to do a dance.
Please.
Please don't.
Anyway,
Everybody.
Nick, Take us back.
Yes.
The year is, what year were you born?
Oh,
1991.
1991. Yeah.
Okay. So what was your first instrument?
Oh, good question. It would have been the piano, I think. Mum and Dad had a piano, and Mum used to play for fun, and I think I would have had a bash at it. But I didn't learn the instrument till much, much later. So I started off probably, making up music from about the age of 5.
Making, what do you mean by making
Well,
up
I
music?
didn't obviously know how to play,
Yeah.
but I could piece little things together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the piano, you were going,
On the
oh,
piano.
this sounds
And
cool.
I'm
This
talking
sounds cool.
basic, like
Yeah.
Mary Had a Little Lamb, but
But that's like, I can't play that still. So, I mean, I could
I'll show
try.
you.
I'll give it a go.
Yep.
So you were making something, you were noticing yourself like, hey, I haven't heard someone else do this before, but this sounds cool.
Yeah, and then years later, I would have been grade 3 or 4 at school. You know this, we went to the same school. They had music class. So I think Friday, we'd have music class and we'd go up to the big school and we'd jump on their piano, and all the kids that had music lessons formally would play something that they'd learned. And I put my hand up and I said, could I play something? I didn't know any music, but I'd made a little song and I played my little song. And they said, who taught you that? And I said, oh, I don't know. I just sort of made it. So they offered me a music bursary. So they paid for my tuition.
Oh, wow.
And then I studied classical music for 10 years.
Wow,
And
that's so
yeah,
cool.
so I'm very lucky because I had support
Yeah.
from the ground up. So Mum was the start. Dad was also musical, but Mum mainly. And that's the condensed version of how I got into music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When things started to take off, I think I was probably either in Melbourne or over in LA
I
by
reckon
then.
you were in LA.
So I think I was just getting like drip fed some like, Nick's
Yep.
doing architecture. Nick's a massive YouTube sensation. Okay. Can you bridge the gap for me?
Sure. So I was encouraged by my best friends at the time. I was still.
Oh, at the time. Let's dive into that.
Oh, he's my best man now. Yeah. Yeah. So best mate, but
Currently.
Tim wants to be Barbara Walters.
Who's Barbara Walters?
This is Tim. Oh my God. She's like a really well-respected journalist.
Oh, thank you.
Hard hitting. She's really old now, but still.
Well, make way, Barbara. The new Barb is in town. Anyway.
So a good friend of mine used to come over frequently and hang out, and I'd play music that I was making for fun. And again, a very condensed version of the story is that I had purchased this controller. It was a 64-button controller that wasn't mainstream. Nobody really knew of it. And I was using it incorrectly. I was using it so that formerly it was used to launch clips, like bits of audio. So you would press a button, it would play a bit of audio, and that audio would last a duration of time. What I was doing is I was pressing a button, and only while my hand was holding the button would the audio play. And this was a mistake, and I was using it to program drums. So, a kick, a snare, whatever. And then I had this idea that I could add vocals in just as a bit of fun. And then I sort of expanded on that and started bringing in other instruments. And all of a sudden, think of it like playing a piano, but all the keys are playing drums, voice, synths, melodies, everything.
Yeah.
And the difference between what I was doing, what everybody else was doing at the time, the DJ, like the EDM scene was really blowing up. And DJs were known for putting their hands in the air and saying, 3, 2, 1, jump, and then there'd be a drop, and their hands would be in the air and whatever.
Yeah.
Music's still playing.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. If my hands weren't on this controller, music stops. So I was showing my friend. He's like, mate, you have to upload this to YouTube. So I did, and the first video tanked hard. It got publicity because I think I used samples from all the big artists at the time. And there was another video that was a little bit similar by another artist called Madian, who got known too for this grid controller. And I was like the copycat guy that didn't do a very good job.
Right.
And like, you're doing it wrong. So I think I took that video down, and then I had another video that was like just me. It was groundbreaking. It was totally different.
Yeah.
And that is the one that blew up. It only blew up because I said to my mate, I'm going to email the people that made this controller and tell them that this controller is wicked and I'm using it incorrectly and this is what it could possibly be used for. And they immediately read the email, which never happens, And then they shared the YouTube link that I sent them and put it on their Facebook. And at the time, they had 100,000 followers on their Facebook page. And so 50,000 of them back then, when there wasn't this stupid algorithm, saw the video. So I got a massive head start. Then all these music blogs that followed them as a tech company also picked up the video, but the same link. So this link, this one unique link, kept getting shared and posted and reposted and all this press. And I woke up to 1 million views on YouTube. And I just lost my mind. Like the first video had a few thousand views and people were like, oh, stop being tryhard. The second one was like, wow, we haven't seen anything like this before. And
how long was it from the time you posted it till, was it literally the next morning or was it like a week?
The next morning was 10,000 views.
Yeah.
Then that night was 100,000. And then by the end of the week, it was 1 million.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I think within 6 months, it was at 10 million. It sort of slowed down. Like the curve was very quick and then it was still gradual. And then it was like, well, what's next? So then I released another video, but that took 3 to 4 months to make. And I took one controller and then brought in another and I did it 2. And I was the first person to ever do 2.
Jeez.
So each time I tried to level up, but it took a stupid amount of time. And the subscribers on YouTube had to subscribe because the infrequency of my videos meant that they needed to subscribe to get the notification. I wasn't, constantly uploading. So if they didn't want to miss a video. And it was great. I actually had a community, but back then, Instagram was just a grid. There was no such thing as Spotify. YouTube was you had to find the video or you had to subscribe to know about it. There wasn't you weren't referred on to another video. There wasn't playlist. It was just a very, very different climate. And Facebook, if I typed a post, I got engagement. So I was very, very careful. So it was infrequent, it was very rare, and it was very well thought out. Completely opposite, fast forward 8 years. Now
Nowadays.
it's just quantity over quality.
On a mass scale,
Yes.
really, isn't it? So you can't be that selective and it's kind of nice being a little bit hidden away and like, hey, here's the one thing I want to say this week. And it doesn't really seem to support
that. Doesn't work anymore unless you are a very large profile. And even then, I've noticed their engagement's gone down huge, but they're still getting something where I will post and no one.
Yeah.
Actually,
the algorithm sort of rewards people that use it because there's a great documentary, I can't remember what it's called, but the algorithm just says the more that you're on your phone, the more it's going to reward you. So it's sort of hard to
wow.
Yeah,
to
they just want to keep you there.
Yeah, so that if you post a video and you never look at it, they're not going to give you as many likes necessarily or they're not going to show it as often.
Interesting.
To if you're constantly using and liking other people's posts and watching videos, and that's what's so hard because you don't necessarily want to be stuck to your device watching things and liking things and all
it's
of that.
like the platforms now are trying to dictate how we should be creatives.
Yes.
As opposed to being like, no, this is what I'm doing when I'm doing it. So
I can't explain to you the euphoria of playing to over 10,000 people.
Oh.
It's unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Imagine it'd be so good.
Must be insane.
So to play in a warehouse to a camera, God, first world problems. It's just different.
It is. It's got the highs and the lows, and that actually sort of brings me to another question that I had for you, which is just, there is a roller coaster. So what sort of was your high? Like, what were the good days and what were the things and how did that make you feel when you did have all that sort of success and you were at the peak? And it is up and down, sort of.
Well, strangely, because it happened so fast, and I've got to remember too, I sound like a massive hypocrite. I didn't build a career and then deserve the highs. I got thrown in because I made a viral YouTube video, just like someone today can make a viral TikTok.
Are you saying there was a producer out there that was maybe 10 years older than you that was like, who's this fucking M4sonic guy?
Massively.
So all through all this, you've had nearly 104 million views on your YouTube channel. You have, from what I looked into, you have a total audience of almost 1.2 million.
It's dropped.
I don't know. I might not have got all your
you're right.
platforms because I
It's dropped.
might have missed a few platforms.
Fine.
It could be more.
Yeah, it's probably dropped.
But that's a lot. Like,
Yeah.
that is what, 1,000 MCGs, 1,200?
1,000 MCGs.
Oh, wow.
In one
I hadn't
space,
thought of that.
how many people can
What
you
are people?
imagine? So never be disheartened on that, because that's that many people that are interested in you. They liked your music, they saw your art, and they thought that was good.
Yeah,
so
that's cool. It's nice. I haven't thought of it like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Really, you're the football star in the middle. Like, that's cool. So
It's hard when you don't see it live. Like
Yeah.
the footy
No.
stars, they snap a goal and the crowd erupts and they're like, wow, I'm feeling
Imagine
it.
if they hit a goal and then they got 3 people just going, yeah, well done, mate. Pretty good. Well done, Baz.
Yeah.
Where's the other
Exactly.
50,000? That's basically how it feels
on
currently.
Yeah.
the live.
Yeah.
So was the video being viral, was that like your
Oh.
career high, or were there other things that
Yeah.
maybe were unseen?
I reckon that was the best, to be
Yeah.
perfectly honest. Yeah, it'd be funny actually to cross stories, like, because you
Yeah.
made YouTube. So I reckon the best times, I was still living at home. I'd overstayed my welcome at home, but I was, 21, and I was just finishing up uni, and I had these videos that were doing really well, and there was just so much excitement and so much unknown. And so before I knew too much about the music industry, I was full of optimism.
Yeah.
And the videos were doing really well, and the feedback was pretty good. There was a lot of hate too, but like that was pretty good. And yeah, look, good and the bad, it was still publicity. Publicity
well,
is
and
good
you also
publicity.
sort of, it's that ignorance is bliss, or not ignorance, but the naivety is so important. I think
Massively.
we've talked about that before, but it's so
Love it.
big in the beginning of a career. You don't
Yeah.
actually know where you sit,
Yep.
and you don't know how much more work there is to go, and you kind of feel like, oh, that was a little. Well, for me, I felt like that was a bit easy. I didn't I didn't feel I deserved that success
Yeah.
with Lonely Girl, and I
It's
still
really
kind of feel
interesting
like
you say that, because that has been
it's too quick. I
unanimous
expected a long
amongst
time.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
They're like, well, that was easy.
Yeah. When it happens like that, when it
Yeah.
is a viral thing, like obviously we did a couple of months of filming and stuff before it got massive, but still I had a teacher say to me, you know, it'll take 10 years at least before you even
That's
get
what everyone says.
commercial.
To be an
And I was
overnight
like,
success,
cool.
10 years.
Yeah, I was like, cool. I'll have to work for 10 years. I'll be auditioning for 10 years and I won't get anything. I was prepared for that. Lonely Girl was my first real audition in Los Angeles, and I booked it. And then that was like, okay, well, it's some little independent thing. No one's going to see it, whatever. And then it was big. And so I sort of feel like it's the same sort of thing. You go like, this is amazing, and everybody wants to talk to me. But at the same time, is everyone kind of laughing behind my back? That's how I felt.
Right.
I was like, oh, is everyone going like, is someone making fun of me? Am I
Interesting.
like the butt of a joke? That's how
It's
I
such
kind
a
of felt.
weird feeling when you start to have any sort of attention that is beyond
Yeah.
your friendship circle and your family. When someone else knows something you've done or seen something you're in or whatever, that is there's no training in that.
No, there isn't.
It's a weird feeling. And I think if you're naturally more of a maybe introvert or maybe a humble-esque kind of person, it's hard to know what that attention is actually, where that's actually coming from.
Well, I actually have huge respect for you both, because when I started, my hands were the only thing visible on YouTube. So my face, I was anonymous.
Yeah.
And we were going to maintain that. When I say we, the people I was working with at the time that sort of discovered me early on and helped promote and build what is now the M4sonic project, they were of the opinion that anonymity is super important for YouTube.
That was like Dead Mouse
That was Dead Mouse
vibe
times, you
and-
know.
Correct.
Everyone's
Yeah.
trying to-
We wanted to have a mask.
Right.
Yeah.
And the booking agent that signed me to William Morris Endeavour at the time was like, don't do the mask, don't do the mask. I know someone who's about to do the mask, don't do the mask.
Yeah.
Well, we really want to do the masks, don't do the mask.
Yeah.
Marshmallow. One of the largest, if not the largest.
Does he still do a
touring
mask,
gotcha.
or does
Oh,
he
yeah.
show his face now?
No.
Well, you've expanded your horizons.
Yep.
Your M4 is still kicking on,
Yep.
but you now have a recording label,
Yes.
Global League,
Yes.
and also your studio here at Matrix,
Yep.
which will be the home of Part-Time Creative for
Awesome.
its entirety.
Oh, so stoked.
And you know, one day people will be doing tours, come by and say, "Oh, that's
the
where
idea.
that's where it all started."
Yep. Humble little beginnings. Yeah.
I zoned out. Then I was like,
Where's he going with this? I think actually I kind of zoned out partway through that as well.
happens a lot in our house. I'll be
We
like,
need more coffee.
yeah,
Right,
no. Tim will just talk about stuff for
Just-
maybe like a touch too long, like a few minutes, and then I'll be like,
Uh-oh.
I don't know what you're talking about. I forgot. I was like thinking of other things.
I think the best thing when anyone could ever do when you tune out is to just own up and say, you know what? I tuned out. Can you just take it back? So, well, I'll tell you what.
Wait.
I'll tell you what.
What does the fox say?
Well, I wasn't wrapping up.
Oh,
Don't
I
worry.
thought
No,
you
this is
were.
going to go for hours.
I was ready to get up.
We're just settling in. We've burned through one memory
You could probably
card.
make a couple episodes out of this.
Oh, maybe we will.
Maybe we will. Or just
Part
have the
one.
extended version. Who cares? If people are taking a long car trip, listen.
Yeah, totally.
You're blocking me.
Oh, shit. Yeah, no, fair enough. Good call. Good call.
Get the guns out, babe.
They have massive guns.
Sorry,
Rule number
did you
one,
have it- have
don't
it?
block Nick's camera feed.
Yeah.
So, look, you've had some massive highs in your career due to
very
things
kind
we've
of you.
talked about
Thank
with the changes with social media, the algorithms, the behaviours, what people want. Not to mention COVID hitting musicians massively, touring artists. There will be a M4sonic or Nick Boundy hit again. A resurgence, a something. There'll be something
Just
massive
between us.
in the pipeline.
Between us. Cut this.
No, between anyone listening right now. I think I've got it.
Oh, you got it.
Okay, and now
this
I
is
just
it.
want to
What
go.
is it?
So I feel like I've been slightly negative and a bit pessimistic in this.
Sorry, we can cut that bit.
No, that's fine. You can keep
We'll
all
put
that
positive music
because
behind
the it's relevant. And what I wanted to say, and this leads on from your previous question about what were the highs. When I was innocent, naive, and really enjoying just the excitement of it all, as I'm sure you guys have both felt,
We're feeling it again now with this.
Right.
New
We're
podcast.
naive.
We're like, whatever.
you can feel it.
Yeah.
We're not doing any of this because we're chasing something. We're doing this because we love it.
Yeah.
And that is how I got my start. It was a hobby.
Yeah.
I was doing something because I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
And anyone watching or listening, I just need to reassure you that usually does have an outcome.
Yeah.
I think people are starting to get a little bit deflated because we're in this highly connected world, right, where we can always compare ourselves to people that seemingly are doing better, but you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
That should be reassuring. But getting back to the previous question, when I was enjoying the art form and the love for the launchpad and music in general, that's when things popped.
Yeah.
No expectations,
Yeah.
right? Just do it because you love it.
And so what's going on now?
I have stopped making music that I thought I needed to make, which are songs. So, again, conforming to the industry, I needed songs that were tourable. So club-orientated bangers.
Yeah.
That
Don't have to worry about that now.
Exactly.
How lucky is that?
I have made a song that I've been sitting on for 2 years that is very poppy, very happy, very uplifting, very cheesy.
I can't believe you're going to play it for the first time ever on our humble podcast.
Done.
How lovely is that?
Done.
Ladies and gentlemen, M4sonic, his new song. No, I'm just kidding.
But there's something special about this song, and the vocalist, the artist rather, that has collaborated with me, asked me a bunch of questions about just life in general and who I am, and she managed to build this incredible story that I think everybody can probably associate with, and I think it's got legs.
Cool.
I think,
Excellent.
yeah,
It's great.
but it's from the heart.
He's back.
He's there. It's the bottom of the roller coaster going back.
Who knows? Who knows? But I just feel good about this.
Maybe this will be the one that bombs, and then like the launch pad, and then the next
You know what,
one.
guys? I
will
don't
be
care.
unreal.
I'm just so proud and happy that it's going to go out.
That is a
So
good place
good.
to be though, because like it is, you can't always do it to sort of chase money or likes or follows or whatever it is. You have to do it because that feeling that you feel when you feel excited about something, that's more valuable than
I'm gonna
all
be
of that.
proud
That
of this
sounds
one. I'll
good.
listen to
but
it.
it is.
I'll
it's
listen
good.
to it again. Do you know? You know how
Awesome.
we're saying like we don't like seeing ourselves on camera, or we don't like in the music industry we don't like listening back to our music.
Okay.
It's actually quite hard to play it out at clubs if you're not like fully into it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I made this banger, but I'm kind of sick of it because I played it 100 times.
Yeah.
This song though, I'll be like, oh, I'm actually like genuinely.
Cool.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's
and I
very
bet
good.
you've been sitting on it for 2 years. The vocalist, are they like, Nick, can you release it, please?
Well, she only came in last week,
Okay. To actually lay down the tracks properly. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
and she's perfect. She's just made the song.
Oh my God.
If it wasn't for her, then the song would just be on a hard drive.
Unreal.
Yeah. So good people, mix of
Exciting.
good people.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the vocalist,
Adelaide. Yep. Her name is
Sensation.
Indy Stanton, and I think she's going to be huge.
Is she part of the Global League community? Or
She's had a release on Global League, yes, a couple
Yep.
of years ago, and I'm hoping that we can work with her more and more and more.
Global League is Nick's record company. I don't think we've actually mentioned that.
Oh, okay,
Out loud.
yeah. Just repping the merch today.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I
that's,
love it. Where's
so
my
right.
t-shirt?
Oh, it's in a box out front.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
said that earlier. We were supposed to put them all on.
Yeah, but I don't know if that bit was recorded for the podcast, so I was just asking again.
What does the fox say?
What's the connection of M4sonic and what does the fox say?
Well, I'm very lucky because fortunately, again, I think it all comes down to, so there's no such thing as luck. It's preparation and opportunity. The viral video that I had at the time was circulating with the right people. And one of the most talented and brilliant producers that I've ever met, Stargate, Tor and Mikkel, they were in a studio with Adelaide's own Sia Furler. And I think they'd come across my video and they knew that I was from Adelaide, or at least they knew that I was from Australia, and they asked Sia, like, do you know who this person is? To which Sia would have responded, no idea. But she tweeted. They must have asked her to. Yeah, she tweeted. And I didn't know at the time. My dad, of all people, was like, hey, buddy, you got a tweet from Sia. I'm like, yeah, righto, Dad. Yeah, so Dad tells me that Sia's tweeted. And fortunately, my manager at the time, he was very good at reaching out and whatever, and got in touch with Sia. And she then put us in touch with Stargate, the duo producer. Now, that's relevant because they then just bought me a ticket to America and flew me across. And I was a couple of weeks later in the studio with Tor and Mikkel and Sia, and we started working on all this music. And I think originally they just wanted me to go over and play the launchpad for them.
Yeah.
But it just coincided with the fact that I was starting to get shows in America as well. So there was all these reasons to be in America. And yeah, I did 1 week in the studio with them. And then they said, look, we're going to New York. No, other way around. We're in New York. And they said, we're going to LA. Do you want to tag along? And I did another week with them. And thank God I did, because in that week, I created this little chorusy bop thing on the launchpad, which ended up being What Does the Fox Say? And they added lots more production as well. So it was definitely a collaboration, but I didn't know at the time. I just knew that I'd made all these songs with them, wasn't sure what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it was a long time after that I was back in Australia, and Dad, again, he's like, I heard this song and it's just got a lot of M4sonic in it.
Ducks they quack and fish go blub and the seal goes ow, ow, ow. But there's one sound that no one knows. What does the fox say?
And I'm like, yeah, cool story. He's like, no, it's blowing up. And I looked at it, had 80 million views, and I was like, Dad, that's my drop. Like, I remember writing that with Stargate. So immediately, manager's like, emailing, guys, what's going on? And on Wikipedia, it says, some third party took the song off iTunes for a week while it was disputed for copyright. Yeah, that was this guy. So what happened was, we're like, guys, what's going on? Like, this song's out. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, so sorry. So we owed the Elvis Brothers a song. They've been doing stuff for us, and we sent them the track, and they made this amazing record, and it's blowing up. Congratulations. We didn't know this was going to be our first hit together. Meanwhile, I'm in Adelaide freaking out, like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
What is this? And also, like, where how come I didn't know about it? And how come to this day, FYI, if anybody ever watches, how come I never received my platinum plaque? 22 times platinum.
That's why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah, no,
we're righting wrongs.
It doesn't matter. Like, I'm so pleased.
It kind of feels like it does matter.
Look, a little part of my ego is like, I wish I had something to show for it.
It'll look good in the studio.
It would look great.
Come on.
It would look great. And it's
We'll take a replica.
Also, let's be real. Like, am I ever going to have a song? Oh, by the way, it just hit 1 billion.
Oh, yeah, I think I was going to say it got to 1 billion recently.
Billion.
And Stargate.
How many MCGs is that? I don't even know.
Stargate tagged the Elvis Brothers and were like, congratulations, guys. And they didn't tag me. But,
and is that the last time you spoke to Stargate, or is it?
Yeah, I haven't spoken in a while, but I'm still signed with their publishing wing.
Yeah.
We're part of the family. But in their defense, I had a pretty messy break from my team, which I'm sure would have severed the communications channel with them.
Gets hard, doesn't it?
It's just the nature of the industry. If you've got a team of people that are in your corner and all of a sudden you're not in their corner, or they're not in yours, then communication breaks down. Yeah. But I'm very, very grateful, because that was a game changer for me. I couldn't put my name to it because it was seen to be, it's a joke song, right? And so it's not great if you're starting out in the career and all of a sudden you've got a viral joke song. It is now. TikTok, woo, would have been amazing. But I'm grateful because it got me a head start. It certainly helped fund the career. And I know too that kids have heard it and one day I'll play to my son.
I
I'll be
should
like,
play it to Rory. He'd
my
probably love
gosh,
it.
he
Dad
would
made this song,
love
mate.
it.
Sorry, you might hear it at kindy. Sorry. Yeah.
We need to make a baby shark and then you'll be set for life.
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
Gangnam Style then was the next one.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And then Baby Shark was I think the last of
recent.
the
Big
hype
one.
funny
Yeah,
songs.
yeah.
And there'll be another one.
Is this the one you're sitting on?
No, this one is no, but I've thought about it. But honestly, like credit where credit's due, the production of that song is still great. It's got all the right things you need for a viral song, and the Ilves brothers put an enormous amount of effort into the video clip and everything else to go coincide with it. So
Yep.
a lot of hard work that didn't just happen.
Yeah,
No,
totally.
I just
Yeah.
was late to the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Well, mate, I think we could probably talk for another few hours.
We
so
could
we're,
easily.
we're going to have you back on.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Considering we record in your studio,
I'll be.
you're a pretty good guest to fill in. When we're running dry. No, but it's really cool to hear what's going on, and we're pumped that the next pop is
I
ahead.
think it's oh look, it may flop, but who cares?
You're in a good place.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm
You're
happy.
doing things for the joy again.
Yep, exactly.
And that's the main thing, really,
Yeah.
at the end of the day. So, and it's like what we've talked about with auditions. You can sniff it. If you're there being Captain Desperado, you're not going to get it. You go in there saying, this is what I'm going to do and this is where you're at. That's why it's exciting. We're keen to see where that goes. And when we have you on next, maybe the track will be out there and we can play it, see how it's
100%.
going. So all the best with that.
Thank you very much.
Love
I'd
your
say
work.
thanks for coming in, but like we came into your
Really,
studio.
thanks for letting us in.
Yeah.
Always
Thanks
a pleasure.
for
Thank you for the coffee.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
And the banana bread. That was
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks very much. We're going to hang up now.
Yeah. Oh, stole my line.
Sorry, I think Jess has one more thing to add.
I'm going to hang up on you.
Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me.